Welcome back, everybody, to the Decision Time podcast. Your one stop for all most MMA news, some fight picks for the UFC, and recaps and news that's going on in the world of combat sports. Of course, I'm one of your hosts, Jacob. To my right, that way, yeah, to my right, obviously the lovely ginger Ben Rosell.
So,
And to our bottom, I guess he's probably here for me, Samir. Welcome back, guys. How we? Good weekend. Good weekend.
very good
Different
weekend.
fight. Yeah, yeah. Let's just let's just get right into UFC Baku, Azerbaijan. I know in the podcast last week we kind of talked about like the whole Jamal Hill not going. He went. I don't know if that was fake or true, but obviously he went because it happened.
Yes.
Um, the card was pretty good though. I mean, again, I think we mentioned last week that it wasn't like a stellar stacked card.
Yeah.
But overall, I mean, it was pretty good. Um, we started off with Muhammad Naimov versus Bogdan Grad. I think Sean, our buddy Sean, when he was here, placed a parlay and immediately lost on this fight when we told him not to pick um, the Austrian, and he did. But what can you do?
Yeah. What can you do?
It was all right though. It was kind of a wrestle fest, but again,
Yeah.
it was still enjoyable.
We're in Baku. We're in Azerbaijan, so we're looking for some
Yeah,
wrestling.
yeah, yeah. Exactly, exactly. Any thoughts on that fight though? I mean, I don't know if we were watching the card at that time,
Yeah. Yeah. No, we saw it.
unfortunately.
We saw that one. It was
Okay.
like it was a entertaining. Like I didn't really have
Yeah.
many notes on it. It was just like it was two guys I like somewhat knew, and I was like, oh
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, that was a
Yeah.
solid decision.
Yeah, 29-28.
Just a
It's a
very
good,
Yeah.
yeah.
just in the middle.
It's a casual little calm ass fight.
Yeah.
And then we moved on to Nazim Zaidkov versus Nicholas Mata. And the Azerbaijani got it done. And I think a lot of this card, the Azerbaijanis did pretty well,
Yeah.
overall, and people in and around the area,
In the
that was
Caucasus
kind of like
region.
home fight. Yeah, in the Caucasus regions, and it was kind of like their home fight. But he beats the American. Um, Again, pretty good fight. I mean, I think it was also a Oh no, it was a round two TKO. Never,
Oh,
never
he
mind.
It
he
was.
fought he
It was.
fucked him up. Yeah,
He did fuck
Yeah,
him.
I think it won fight of the night too. Like it
I believe
was
so.
Yes.
it
Yeah.
was second round stoppage and it was crazy. Like I
Yeah.
I thought it was deserved fight of the night.
Yeah.
Um it was a second round KO. I think he got him with a right hook. I'm not. If I remember correctly, but it was just a really dominant display, and
Mhm.
probably one of the better fights of the night because a lot of the fighters were just not really trying. And
Yeah.
when I mean not really trying, they weren't risking it. They were playing it very safe, and it made
Mhm.
for like the card was kind of
It felt a bit
not as good
lackluster.
as yeah,
Yeah.
it wasn't as good as a result, and that was one of the only fights where the fighter just said fuck it,
Yeah.
like let me actually do what
Turn
people
up.
paid
Let's
to.
get this place bumping. Let's get it
Yeah,
bumping.
let's get Baku bumping.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. 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 Like you said, obviously, probably deserved fight of the night. For sure, and got his bonus. I mean, get some extra money. And then it was the uh, Tofik Mazayev versus Mektabek Oralbai.
That was a very
I
interesting
mean, what can we
fight.
say, guys? It was. It was.
Make to
Mektabek
pick
got down by
oral by.
submission.
Yeah,
My
it
go.
was a crazy one though. Like, first of all,
Yeah.
you gotta like his weight situation. He gotta lock the hell in, bro. He came in
Yeah.
10 pounds overweight. What are we
Hmm.
doing? You know what I mean? And then also in the fight where he's got a huge weight advantage, he almost got knocked out, and then he just like dropped and took the guy into a submission. Like he was getting a little pieced up on the feet, and then went, okay, drops, boom, got him a Kimura, it's over.
Yeah.
Like,
I think it was a. Oh, you go ahead.
no, 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 no.
I think like he did have a pretty fraudulent first round. If I were to say so myself, I mean he definitely didn't look proper, especially going into the fight, not being of weight. Like if you're not within the weight range and you don't make weight, like you gotta show something. And he just went
Mhm.
into the fight looking like he cut like 20
Yeah.
because he was just not trying too much. But that Kimura was like it was pretty well executed, and
Oh,
obviously
yeah.
a lot of these fighters main strengths are on the ground, so just to talk about what I said earlier, kind of showcase and took away from the event. But he was getting really like caught out, and I definitely have some questions around him. Like I know he's liked for the memes, but he's actually a pretty decent fighter too. But recently in his last couple of fights, you could kind of tell he's kind of riding the wagon because it doesn't seem like he's that locked in.
Mhm. I
Yeah,
def
it's very the whole weight situation. Like I don't know if this was from a while ago or this fight or whatever, if this was even true or not. But I saw like a thing where Miktabik said to like Dana White, like, I'm gonna be champ one day, like I'm gonna own the division. And Dana was like, yeah, if you can ever
Yeah,
make
you gotta
weight,
work on your weight, buddy.
like that, and that's the thing. Like, I just wanted to see like a little bit more explosiveness. Like if you're 10 pounds over, like there's a reason. Like you're obviously probably a little bit, I guess, healthier than the other guy. So I would have liked to see a little bit more like aggressiveness, and he kind of like Samir said, like just didn't look locked in. Like
Mhm.
he almost played it a little too safe, and then obviously that Kimura was excellent. Like he couldn't have really done it much better. So he gets the submission win. I mean, it's a win. I don't know if it really if he's gonna get like a fight up or like maybe he'll have to defend his spot in the rankings or kind of fight someone a little bit similar. I don't. Again, he's 10 pounds over, and it wasn't that convincing of a performance. Other than obviously he wins by a finish, but
I
kind
personally
of expected
think
when you're that much over.
I personally think that if he fights again at lightweight, he should be a bit punished. Like just fight some other guy who's just maybe an up and coming prospect, like be a little punished.
Yeah,
But I do think that maybe kind of like Kamsa, he should be a little bit forced to go up in weight because like how do you miss that
yeah, just fight at
egregiously?
welter.
Like, and if he fights at welterweight, he can fight like a bit of a better talent. Like I was talking to our friend Braden, and we were like shooting out some names. I was like maybe like a Charles Radke or like maybe even Neil Magny, who's his
Mhm.
career basically now is just fighting like kind of up and coming prospects. So maybe fighting like a low ranked or unranked welterweight. I think that would be best for him, just because how can you miss by 10 pounds and not have to be like forced to go up? I think he should fight welterweight now.
Yeah, and he looked like, I mean, this was catchweight at 165, right?
Yeah.
If I'm correct. He looked healthier than like most of his other like weight cuts and all that stuff. He looked better, like just better physically. So like just move up to welterweight. Like if you like stop trying to cut that weight and be unhealthy and just stay at a weight class that you know you can make every single time, because obviously he cut weight and then just couldn't cut anymore physically.
Hmm.
So just fight at 170. Gain a couple extra pounds of muscle and
It
then
if
cut
you
down.
can't drop 10 pounds, you're cooked. You're done.
Yeah, don't you can't stay at lightweight. Like it's just and you feel bad kind of for Tofik, right? And he cut all that weight, and then now he's like, well, now I gotta catch weight at 165. I have to gain 10 pounds to be at catch weight.
Hmm.
Whereas Miktabik for the fight had
He
to
just
gain
weighs in
10.
there, and then I can rehydrate and be like 175 or something.
Yeah, yeah, which again isn't fair for a lightweight contender, right? Um, but moving on, Curtis Blades versus Rizvan Kunev. I mean,
Razor blades.
yeah, yeah.
Hell
I
yeah.
mean, this one was all right. I personally think again, I think this was a really like close decision. Like I don't like
Hmm.
I think this one honestly could have gone either way.
Hmm.
Round one was very clearly Curtis. Round two, I think very clearly Rizvan. And then round three, again, that one's kind of the toss up. But yeah, I feel like he could have scored it either way.
I forgot.
Um,
Was it a split decision or a unanimous decision? I think it was split, wasn't it?
split,
It was
split,
a
yeah,
split.
Yeah. Because
yeah.
yeah,
So like,
I think that's completely fair. I think it was two round. It was 29-28 for someone. I personally like edged it out for Blades, but it could have gone either way.
Yeah, they I remember I looked at the judge scorecards. The first round was 29 to Kunyev, and then he won the last two
Hmm. Okay.
by split. So it kind of showed it was a really close fight. And what I liked about Curtis Blades, like props to him, he did have a knee scare and he still managed to win the fight. And it
Hmm.
was very close. He showed a lot of grit. Something that he's been called out for in his last couple of fights. People have been saying that you know, he's just a ranked fighter. He's a gatekeeper. That's what they've been saying about him. But now that John Jones is gone, and we're gonna touch on that later, um, he's definitely proving and showing that he needs to climb up those rankings. And with this fight, I mean, I don't know what you guys thought, but I thought that second round like he showed a lot of technicality,
Hmm.
and that's just something that I'm not really used to seeing with heavyweights, especially heavyweights like Curtis Blades. So it's good to see that even the old guard of fighters is adapting to the new ways, and that's something that I took away from the fight.
I completely agree. I think that while uh maybe you could be critical of Curtis Blade saying he's like eighth ranked, going to a split decision with an unranked guy. But I do also think that I agree in that like he looked better in this fight than his last couple of fights, in that he kind of looked like he was just kind of going through the motions. Oh, I'm gonna try 15 takedowns and then I'll win a decision like he normally does. But this fight he actually tried, and somehow it looks like he tried more, but also almost lost. But it was weird, but he looked better throughout the whole fight, I think.
yeah, I mean, shout out Curtis Blades. Shout out. Yeah, I kind of agree with. I mean, I agree with both you guys. I do think that I a little bit disagree with the fact. I think that people should be a little bit critical of Curtis Blades just because I think he should have shown a little bit more in this fight. Like I think it should have been
Against an
like
unranked
a
guy.
Yeah.
unanimous decision, possibly a finish, or just like a 30-27. Like you're facing an unranked guy. I think at the time he was like in the fight, he was the fifth ranked heavyweight. Like
Obviously
you're
five.
fighting a guy outside of the rankings. I feel like you should be a little bit more dominant. Maybe Kunyev is one of the next guys, and he's going to be a top prospect. Like I think now he's broken in the top 15 because of that fight. He looked good, so maybe he goes on like a little bit of a run. But again, I just personally think I think Curtis should have shown us a little more of a dominant performance like we've seen from him in
Hmm.
previous fights. Um, I was just expecting a little more. I don't know.
I
I don't know.
definitely also would say Kuniev definitely looked like a ranked heavyweight, mostly considering guys like Tai Tuivasa and Shamil Gaziev are ranked. Kuniev looked a lot better than those kind of guys who just don't win or look not impressive at all. So I think I'm not sure if the rankings have been updated or not, but I think that Kuniev should have gained a ranking even if he lost the fight.
Here I'll just check right now. Heavyweight Curtis Blades is now fourth.
Okay.
So he moved up a ranking. I mean, I guess with John Jones retiring, a lot of these guys bumped up one spot.
Yeah.
Actually, it looked like every single one bumped up a spot. And then Kunyev is now top number 15. It
Okay.
still says not oh, I guess he went from
He
not
went
ranked
from
to
not
number
ranked
15.
to yeah.
Which makes sense. I mean, you edge out a close decision against one of the top guys in the division, and John Jones retires, so obviously there needs to be a shift.
Yeah.
So good on him. Maybe he fights like a Taliesin Texera next or something like
Oh,
that.
he
Eh,
dies. He dies.
He probably does. He probably does. I don't think he does like low key. Maybe like the one of the only heavyweights he beats right now is like Tai Tuivasa, who's ranked 10. But shout out my Polynesian my Polynesian king. Um, but moving on, the co-main. This one, I mean, Rafael Fiziev versus Ignacio Bahamondes. I was kind of, I mean, I was really excited for this fight, and honestly, it was a great fight. I think Fiziev looks great. I think this was kind of like almost a kind of fraud check for Bahamondes, but also like he looked really good in the fight overall. Like I think Fiziev is just overall like a really good fighter and very technical in his slips. Like there's a couple of those like spinning kicks by Bahamondes where I was like, oh shit, like that easily could have connected. But I think Fiziev's slips and dodges are really one of his main like advantages in fights. And he got some good like body shots, body kicks. Early on, kind of slowed Bahamondes down with his like fancy stuff that he tries to do. And then in the ground game, like Fiziev looked great too. I don't know about you guys. I kind of want to see Fiziev maybe move down to featherweight, and like I think he would look a lot better there. Maybe he just doesn't want to make that weight cut. But I don't really. I could see him doing a little bit better, but like not moving too high in the rankings at lightweight. But I feel like featherweight would be the better division for him to fight at. And Bahamondes, I mean, he looked good. I think this was a very clear. Again, it was a unanimous decision, so it was a very clear win by Fiziev. Bahamondes probably needs to fight down a little bit now, but I think he still looked all right in this. Like he still looks very agile, very technical in his striking. He fought a really good fighter who unfortunately lost his last fight to Gaethje and come back. You know what I mean? But
I personally wouldn't say this is a fraud check for Ignacio in that because, for example, Rafael Fiziev, he had his comeback fight off of an ACL tear from 2 years ago and went to a pretty close fight with Justin Gaethje. So that guy, for his first like real fight back, because that was also on short notice, his first real fight back, and he had like a pretty, it went to decision against
yeah,
Bahamondes. So I wouldn't say it was a fraud check, but it was just like Bahamondes is not at the top rank yet. Like he's still like lower rank. Because Fiziev, I'd
he's not there
say,
yet.
yeah, I would say Fiziev is like right outside of the top guys. Like he's below like an
Yeah,
Armin, Charo. Like he's right below those guys compared to Ignacio, who's like a little bit lower than that. So I wouldn't say it's a fraud check, but I do think Fiziev definitely outclassed him. He just looked more technically good.
Well,
yeah.
I think the fight was won on the ground, and when it was a stand-up fight, I mean, Fiziev wasn't as dominant.
Hmm.
I thought that round one was the most open round until in the second round, Fiziev remembered that he can actually do takedowns,
Yeah.
and that's when he won the fight because he just stayed on the ground, had his ground time, and it became a unanimous decision because he did tire out Bahamondes. I mean, he did open that cut late in the I think it was third round, but it wasn't enough because there was just not enough time on the feet. And answering Jacob's inquiry like a couple minutes ago about him moving down, I think it would be a very good idea because in this fight you saw the exact example of why he should move down when he actually uses his weight to his advantage. It works for him. But when he
Hmm.
tries standing up with guys, I mean, he did do pretty well against Justin Gaethje when he was standing up and fighting. But you see that the best aspect of his game is his ground game, his
Hmm.
takedowns, and just etching out decisions and
Yeah.
doing that. Being naturally heavier than your other opponents, I mean, that's just a match made in heaven, in my opinion.
Hmm.
And I definitely agree with Jacob. Like, he should definitely move down because you see from fights like this, even against a more lightweight guy in this division, he still struggled until he took it to the ground. And that's something I think he needs to go back to the locker room and work on, and improve it even more because his stand up, I'm not really convinced, to be honest. Like,
Hmm.
I don't think he could do it.
I agree. I
Yeah,
think
and
because he. Sorry.
you go ahead, Ben.
All right.
You go
Thank
ahead.
you. I was gonna say I do think, especially because he is like a bit of a like smaller. He's like kind of short and stout of at a lightweight. So if he can just like drop a few more pounds, I think he would be like really good, and he could get a good little knockout. Like I can picture him fighting like Brian Ortega, and he could just really mess him up, something like that. But I remember
Yeah.
at one point, I think in the second round, where they were standing up and Bahamondes wasn't, he didn't land either of these, but he did an overhead kick and then a reverse roundhouse, and I jumped out of my seat. I thought the fight was going to be over, but Fizzy just kind of like went, and he was just fine, but he still didn't really like advance as I thought he was going to like hurt him a lot more, but it was just like you were saying, like it was a really close matchup, and then he eventually started wrestling, started hurting him a bit more, but it just like progressed slowly.
Yeah, yeah, and again, like I just think, like going back to like the whole featherweight thing, I just think that's the best decision for him. I think he does really well at featherweight. Kind of like a Volk, like he's just more like stout, you know what I mean?
Hmm.
And I feel like more people he'd like in the Gaethje fight, like Gaethje used his range to kind of keep him away, and even in this fight, like Bahamondes used his range and his kicks to keep Fiziev from getting in the pocket, because like I think Fiziev does have those kind of like good hands and good kicks, but he's almost just like I said, like just too short, a little too short for that division. He definitely looks like he could cut at that extra 10 pounds and make it fine. But again, these are all athletes. We don't know how hard it is for them to cut, anyways. But again, just a great win from Fiziev. This was a really technical matchup, really slow and entertaining. Um, I'd like to see both these guys do well. I mean, I kind of like both of them. Um, so I'd like to see these guys keep going, and maybe Bahamondes gets a dub in his next one. But moving on to our main event, Jamal Hill versus Khalil Roundtree. Um, Khalil just looks amazing in this one. I don't think any of us can really discredit what he did in this matchup. He won, I think, the judges' scorecards, I'm reading them right now, 50-45, 50-45, and 49-46. Um, Overall, just a kind of a masterclass from Khalil. Like he didn't look like to struggle at all against Jamal, and there were some points where like Jamal kind of like was like you could see Jamal kind of could get a little upset because Khalil wasn't like getting in the pocket and standing there and banging, but why would he? You know what I mean? Like he's winning this his way. Why would he get in that pocket and swing when that's not really his strong suit? You know what I mean? And he's winning
Hmm.
this clearly, and that's Jamal's kind of strong suit. We know Jamal's power and his ability to box very well. So I think Khalil just kind of outclassed Jamal. I think Jamal Hill is kind of not on his way out of the rankings. Like I could see him being a gatekeeper for a little bit longer for any up and coming light heavyweights. Um, but he just hasn't looked like the Jamal Hill pre-injury that we know who can dominate fights. Since that injury, he just hasn't looked the same, and it's unfortunate. But I was kind of happy. I wanted Khalil to win this one. I thought this was what was going to happen. Not exactly to this extent of like clear domination, but Khalil just looks really good, and I kind of want to see him fight like a maybe a Yuri, and I kind of want to see Jamal face maybe like a Dom Reyes or something like that. I think that would be two good matchups for both guys. But yeah,
I think that you're being way too nice to Jamal Hill. He needed to do better in this fight. He had lost his last two fights, has not fought that long. I know he's had his injury, but for a fighter that talks like he has the ability of John Jones, he sure does not perform like it. I mean,
Hmm.
was it just not even that long ago that he was talking all that to Alex Pereira? Now, if you watch this performance, I don't even know what he was thinking. This is like two back-to-back fights where not one point did he look like he was posing any threat to his opponents. He just stands around. Like his strong suit is throwing hands, but he doesn't throw hands. He just stands. He just stands in the octagon. And then the other aspects of his fight IQ, they're just not there. I mean, he's just standing, letting the calf kicks happen. He just let it happen until he hurt himself, and then he couldn't stand up on it. It's like watching Patchy Mix all over again, except he's a seasoned UFC fighter. So but off of 3 losses, I don't think he should be ranked this high. I honestly think he should be towards the tail end
Mhm.
of the rankings. And as a gatekeeper, you have to at least win one fight. To lose every single fight, he's not a gatekeeper. He's a throwaway. Like
Yeah.
you
Okay.
want someone to get a win, you give him Jamal Hill because honestly, like I've had so much patience for Jamal because when he won, it, I mean, he looked like a great fighter, and then he just didn't. He just hasn't performed since ever since that injury, and it really sucks. And props to Khalil because from the first round to the last round, I mean, he looked amazing. But I just wanted to give that little tidbit on Jamal Hill because I am done with Jamal Hill.
He seems like he always wants the fighter that he's facing to play his game. Like he's like he almost like it's almost like he trains in training camp like they're gonna have to play my game, but he doesn't execute his game to make them do it. You know what I mean? Like he just kind of like he kind of is like, no, you come here, and then like even in this fight, Khalil's like, no, like I'm gonna stand over here and wait for you to play me because he knows Jamal's gonna get frustrated and try and throw. I didn't mean to interrupt you, Ben, but you go ahead. You go ahead.
No, no problem, no problem. I'll just say I do completely agree with Samir. Very, I love Durant. I completely agree too. Jamal Hill, like I was saying in the last episode, how do you fight a guy who's known for having horrible like striking defense and you lose to him in a boxing match? I don't, you know, how do you do that? And then he just proved it even more. Like I remember he was talking all that smack after he lost to Alex, being like, "Oh, there was all this da 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 da." But if you compare both of their performance against Alex, you clearly can see one guy looks much better, and that just even further implement like just proved how like the difference in how good they are. Like Jamal, I mean, yeah, he got knocked out in what felt like 10 seconds, you know, versus Khalil went to like an actual like battle with Pereira and then just got demolished. And I don't know if you guys saw this, but like after the fight, Jamal was talking shit like more to Khalil. He's like, "Yo, why are you running away? Why are you running away, bro?" Like after the fight
Yeah.
had ended, because Khalil's like, "Bro, I won almost. I basically I won every round. I'm not gonna let you just knock me out." And he was mad. He's like, "Yo, why aren't you swinging? You're a bitch. You're a bitch." Like, no, you got
Not
fucked
everybody
up.
Max Holloway.
Like, no, you got fucked up, and then now you're bitching. Like, just win before then.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I really don't see what Dana and the UFC does with Jamal Hill. Like I know you said the Dom Reyes fight, but I
Loki
just think
Reyes deserves better.
that's what I'm saying. It's like
Yeah. Honestly.
he's kind of older now and he doesn't have many fights left in him. Like you should give him a guy that's actually worth his time because Jamal Hill is
He's on
it.
his way out. He's on his way out.
Yeah, he's kind of done. I think they're waiting. I wouldn't be surprised if they give him either newly ranked fighters or unranked. I think they're just trying to run down his contract because this was his last chance at proving it. Because every single one of his last fights, undeservedly, by the way, have been amazing chances for him to regain that momentum that he used to have. Like I do not like. Please tell me you believe that off a loss he deserved to fight Alex because he didn't, but he got that chance because there was no one else,
Hmm.
and he had one of the worst performances I've seen someone have against Alex in the ring. Like
Hmm.
Yeah.
I haven't seen an easier like I can't name you an easier fight that Alex has fought in the UFC
Yeah.
other than Jamal Hill. And
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
not even me being a hater, that's just facts. And a guy like that and a guy like that is just not made out to be, especially in one of the divisions known for the strongest hitters. Why are you not throwing? Like it makes no sense. You're in the heavyweight division and you're just standing there. You don't have good ground game. You can't move around a ring and you can't throw punches to save your life because the second you throw one, you get knocked out.
Yeah. Truly. I was gonna say
Okay, let's. I want to see. I want to see Jamal Hill versus Johnny Walker. Go ahead, Ben.
no, 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 not even. He don't even deserve Johnny Walker. Do you know who I want to see? Low key,
Yeah,
I want to
go
see Jamal Hill get fed to Jang Ming Yang.
I literally just read that name too, and I was like,
Bro,
hold on now.
put him against oh, you're a boxer. You're a boxer. Go against Jang Ming Yang, bro. He's done. Once he loses Jang Ming Yang, he's out of the UFC. Bye bye. Bye bye.
Yeah, that's the retirement fight. Because honestly, he gets fucked up by Zhang Mingyang.
Bro, that's just one punch and his skull's just
Yeah, yeah. I did actually see. I know I said Dom Reyes versus Jamal Hill, but I did see Dom Reyes actually did
didn't he
call
get
out
a
Khalil Roundtree.
huh?
He said
Really?
he wants to do it. Yeah, I guess they have some sort of like kind of thing going on. So Dominic Reyes was like, "Hey, let's make it happen. Like I'm off a win, you're now off a win." I don't know if Khalil really deserves like a top guy like maybe Yuri, but other than that, like I think Dom Reyes would be a good fight between
That's
him and
not horrible.
Khalil.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just one last tidbit, because just to sum up the rant, because I could have done it in one sentence. Jamal Hill is the heavyweight's Ryan Till. That's all I had to say. That's all I had to say.
All right, all right. So that wraps up the UFC Baku Azerbaijan card. Honestly, not an amazing, outstanding card, but as a fight
It was
fan,
solid.
we're solid. We can't be mad at a good solid fight night.
Like a good
And one,
7.5,
yeah, honestly, I maybe give it like a seven.
Maybe
I
less,
don't like
actually,
the point
maybe
five.
less.
I don't like the point five, but yeah, overall good fight, and I always like the daytime cards. I mean, obviously it's daytime for us because in our North American time zone, but I like the 3 o'clock card compared to like the 10 o'clock. It's a lot better. Just watch it during the day and get it over with.
Hmm.
But guys, it's International Fight Week,
Yes, sir.
and we have an absolute heater for UFC 317. We're gonna make our picks, and I want from each of you on the main card, not on the prelims, because kind of might be a little bit cheating. But I want a lock. I want a this guy is guaranteed to win this fight. All right.
Just
So
one or all of
one,
them?
just one. I
All
like
right.
make your pick for each of these. Like tell the viewers who you think's gonna win, who you think's gonna get the maybe method of victory. But I want one guaranteed lock. You're saying this is it. This is the one I'm guaranteeing. Like Kai Kara France gonna beat Pantoja. Uh, That's I'm not gonna say that's my lock. That could be
Yeah, I
yours.
wouldn't.
I would not say that. I was gonna go the other way around and say
Wait,
out of the
wait, wait,
big.
wait. We'll get there. We'll get to the lock. We'll get to the lock. I don't want to hear it yet. Let's
Okay.
start just with the prelims.
Okay.
Okay.
Um,
You want to go like all the way
anyone's
through the card?
yeah. Let's go all the way through the card. I mean, early prelims look all right. Nico Price, Jacoby Smith. That one's kind of that's the feature early prelim. That one's kind of cool.
I like
Look,
Nico Price. I like he just looks
yeah,
funny. I like his mustache.
yeah, yeah.
He's just
The
got a
bone.
bush. Yeah.
He's kind of got that Sean Strickland look, but he's like this. He's the welterweight Sean
Yeah,
Strickland.
he's got a look to him. I don't know if I like it, but he's got a look to him.
And then Syracuse Damas versus Jackson McVee is the first fight on the card. I mean, all right, cool, but
Janata
nothing
Deniz
too
too.
crazy on the yeah,
Janata
yep.
Deniz, he's pretty cool.
The Brazilian dude.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
kind of. I'm looking at his picture, his like headshot. He looks like his face is like squished. I don't know what it is, but like if you look up his headshot on the UFC's website, man, he looks like he got like compressed. But prelims, there's
Loaded.
some good, there's some
Loaded.
great loaded prelims, loaded prelims. First Terrence McKinney versus Vyacheslav Broshev. Is that
Borshev.
am I right?
Borshev.
Broshev?
I
Borshev.
love Borshev.
I
He's
won
pretty
I
cool.
wonder which one's Russian. But yeah, I think honestly the Russian gets it done in this fight. Um,
I
Probably.
I feel like I haven't been impressed by a Terrence McKinney fight, and like he wins fights, but I always just feel like he just
Very
exists.
underwhelming wins.
Yeah, like Terrence McKinney wins fights, but I can never like remember Terrence McKinney. I'm like, oh, he fought, man. Okay.
I
Yeah,
mean,
he's 2-1 in his last three. That's not bad. It's not horrible.
He's not even that
I mean,
bad, honestly.
Yeah.
I think the opposite. I mean, I think it might be a little upset, and McKinney might win because I I know that you say like you don't remember everything of like in a McKinney fight, but what I do remember from every McKinney fight is that he's explosive in
Oh yeah.
scrambles
Oh
and
yeah.
and 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 he usually is basically high risk, high reward. So
Yep.
he either wins or loses. Like there's no in between. It doesn't really go to decision usually. Um, so a fighter like that fighting Borchev, who is like a solid striker, he's also known for overcommitting with his strikes.
Hmm.
So combine a fighter that goes all for nothing and a fighter that shows a little bit of glimpses of opportunity for a good jab, for a good knockout. I think Terrence McKinney might win. Now, this might backfire because he's a very 50-50 fighter.
Hmm.
So he might lose, and I might not look very good after this weekend. But in my opinion, I think that on Saturday he will knock him out. I think second round.
I also
I
honestly
think.
I probably would pick McKinney to win, to be honest. But I also just looked at it. He does no fights in the UFC that went to decision. All of his fights have been finished. It's either he's finished or he's gotten finished. I thought
Yeah.
like maybe that's why I just don't remember because it's like he never has like a full fight. He's just like, oh, it's over. All right. Like I do think that Terrence McKinney will actually win. It's just that, and he might even get like a fight of the night kind of thing. But like I don't know something about Terrence McKinney. He always just like he goes up and down and up and down.
Yeah.
He gets
Very
finished. He wins.
inconsistent.
Yeah. So I think McKinney wins that, but wins by like someone dying.
Yeah, I think it's someone. I think it's gonna be a finish. I think both guys are just gonna come into the gate blazing, and it's just gonna be a swing fest
Mhm.
until it's not. Um, Again, it's gonna be an interesting. It's a banger to start the prelims. Like to have this be your first prelim fight. Like this could easily be like a two or a three or even a feature prelim on a lesser card. Um,
But
but
on
yeah, banger.
Azerbaijan, it's one of the
Um,
best fights.
Low key, it's a main card fight in Azerbaijan. Then we have the women's flyweight. Vivian Ar okay. I'm gonna butcher this last name. I'll just let
Vivian
you take it.
Araujo,
Araujo, thank you. Versus Tracy Cortez. We up banger
we up,
banger.
we up.
We so back. We so back. Um, yeah, every Tracy Cortez fight's a good fight. Um, so we're gonna see some good things in this fight. It's gonna be an interesting one. I mean, flyweight fights are always fun. It's just gonna be it's especially it's on a prelim. I think maybe it could have been a little bit higher. Like honestly, like I would have maybe liked to see it over the main card Peyton Talbot versus Felipe Lima. Um, Maybe that's just me, man. Hey, two ranked women's
Boy,
flyweights
you just want to see Tracy
over.
Cortez.
No, I just want to like why are they just so low on the I don't know. Anyways. I think Tracy Cortez gets this done easily. I
Yeah.
mean, she's the
Yeah.
clear favorite. Um,
Is it a big gap?
no diss. It's like she's minus 225. It's not like nothing crazy, but she's the biggest favorite on the prelims as of right now. So
I think that's fair.
makes
I think
Well,
that's fair, honestly.
yeah. It makes a lot of sense because Araujo is a striker and Cortez just has ground game. Um, and it all really depends on how Cortez goes about the fight. I mean, if Tracy just goes in, tries to play with the crowd, doesn't go through with her plan of just spamming takedowns and top pressure, then she's not gonna win because we've seen it with Tracy before. If she tries anything outside of her usual tactics, she just doesn't know. Like she's very unprepared when the fight doesn't go her way. She is very unprepared. But having said that, I think this fight is gonna go her way. She's probably gonna have like a bunch of takedowns, and the top pressure is gonna be too much for Araujo. Although I do think that Tracy's gonna walk out of it looking bruised because
Oh
Araujo
yeah.
Araujo's not to be messed with. Like saying that Tracy's gonna win, she's not gonna win easily. It'll be a decision win, but a very good decision.
See, something about Tracy Cortez is she could take a run down the street and look like she got into a war. Like she can get punched one time and her face is like half gone. You know what I mean? She like I know Jacob loves watching her come into the octagon, watching her walk out of it. Oh oh,
Um, by the way, Tracy Cortez hasn't won a fight since 2023. That's
Yeah,
crazy.
ever
But
since she
I think
broke
I
up
think
with Brian.
Brian CTE TCTE.
um yeah, I think this is gonna be a good matchup between these two. But I think we all agree Tracy Cortez probably gets this one done. Um, and then we got Hyder Amil versus Jose Miguel Delgado. The American versus the Filipino, right? That's the right term. Yeah. Let's hear your thoughts on this one, guys. I just had to make sure. I shut up. All
I,
right, go ahead, Samir, because Ben's dying over here at my
I
comment.
honestly think that this might be a potential fight of the night. These are two aggressive, finish-oriented fighters. If this goes to decision, like, I'm not putting anything on the line because they always go to decision. They always somehow find a way to make a good fight go to decision. But if I had to put my money on it, I'm betting this is gonna win fight of the night. I mean, these are two fighters that just love to scrap. I think they're gonna come out the gates just crazy. They're just gonna go for it, and I definitely think it's gonna be like a knockout fight. It has the potential to be the fight of the night. I mean, Hyder Emil, so talented, but for me, Jose Delgado, you need to watch out for Jose Delgado. I definitely think he's gonna climb the rankings after this fight. Featherweight is not ready for Jose Delgado. I'm telling you that right now, and that's who I think is gonna win the fight. Um, it could go either way though. That's how good this fight is. It's just two guys just standing up, throwing punches at each other. Not a lot of not a lot of ground game. You're not gonna see any ground game. It's just gonna be on the feet, and hopefully it lasts the whole fight. But I don't think it will.
Yeah, I mean, Hydra Emil is 3-0 in the UFC. And Delgado is 1-0 in the UFC. So one of these guys is losing their O in the UFC. Um, I don't really know. This is kind of kind of what you said, Samir. Like I don't think these guys are gonna survive this fight. One of them's going down. Um, and it's kind of a toss up for me. Like I like Emil. I think he's got that great finishability, and he has shown that he can go the distance. And his last fight um against Gomez, I think he kind of showed he has that ability to go the distance. We haven't yet seen that from Delgado. But this is gonna be a swing fest. They're going for heads and nothing else. I'm really excited. I personally am gonna take Emil just because we've seen a little bit more from him in the UFC so far. We've seen him fight that top level competition. But I do think Delgado puts on a good performance, and but I think both these guys are going to be dangerous to the featherweight division very, very soon. I think both these guys could break into the rankings within the next year or two. But yeah,
I agree. Emil decision win, fight of the night. Bet that on Stadium Live.
You think it's gonna you think it's gonna go to decision?
Oh yeah, I think it's gonna be an absolute slugfest, and somehow they're gonna both survive. and it'll be like a
Okay.
solid 29-28. Boom.
Just just a slugfest, but
Oh yeah.
no one gets knocked. I
Yeah,
like
like
that. I like that.
guys will be stumbling around and be like, "Oh my God, he's dead! He's a what happened?"
Yeah, I'd pay to see that. To be honest, I'm really excited for this fight. One of my most anticipated fights of the card.
Hmm.
Top three, and
Yep.
I know you guys picked Emil, but I think Jose Delgado. I mean, I watched his UFC debut. What a fighter!
Oh
What a
yeah.
fighter! And just the grit that he has. He really reminded me of UFC Noche when every fighter was just eating like the biggest punches and nobody was going down. This guy is the epitome of everything that happened on that card, and I
Hmm.
can't wait till people finally get to see him. Like he's my favorite fighter right now in featherweight, and I'm definitely excited to see more of him in the future.
Oh yeah.
Sick, sick. Feature prelim. Again, this card absolutely stacked. We have
Oh
Jack
yeah.
Hermanson versus Gregory Rodriguez. Gregory Rodriguez comes in as the betting favorite, barely, just edging Jack Hermanson out. Um, this one though, this one for me is kind of a toss up. I don't really know how it's gonna go, how these guys are gonna do. I kind of want to hear. We haven't heard from him first yet. I want to I'll give the mic to my ginger-esque friend
Yes, sir.
Benjamin. Go ahead.
Uh, First of all, absolute monster matchup. Battle of the nicknames. I love both of them. Jack the Joker Hermanson versus Gregory RoboCop Rodriguez. Oh my God, nasty. Anyways, I don't know who I think it'll be. I personally am going to take Jack Hermanson for a win purely because Gregor Rodriguez in his last matchup against Jared Cannonier. I mean, to be fair, it was Jared Cannonier, but he looked not great at all. Like he was just demolished. And Jack Hermanson is just one of those guys who he just kind of wrestles. He takes you down, he grapples, and just sneaks out decisions similar to like a Cannoneer, but just worse at most things. So I think that the Joker wins that close, but I think the Joker takes it.
Yeah, honestly, I hate to be a kind of a follower here, but I was basically gonna say the exact same thing as you, Ben. I think Jack just wrestles him. Gregory Rodriguez did not look at all impressive against Jared Cannonier. He was on
Hmm.
that 3 fight win streak. He looked kind of promising, a possible middleweight prospect, and then Jared Cannonier shut that down. And kind of, yeah, Gregory Rodriguez. I mean, he's good. He is the favorite, but I think put your money on Jack Hermanson. I think he gets Hermanson. Um, Also, I did not know. I knew Jack the Joker. I did not know Gregory RoboCop Rodriguez. That is fire.
Yeah, bro,
Thank you for
it's
the
a
education on
monster.
that. That's sick. That's sick. But yeah, I think Jack Hermanson gets this done. Bet on the underdog. Put the house on it.
I would not go against the RoboCop because this win all depends on Hermanson avoiding the early round, like the early of the first round, because it either ends like you said, it's a very it's a very like highly contested fight, but not in the aspects of it actually being like a fight to the death. It's most likely gonna be between these two options. Either Gregory Rodriguez wins in the first round, or Hermanson wins by decision.
I agree.
And
I agree.
it's just how it's gonna go. I know it sounds very simple, but Hermanson has shown that he doesn't really do well when there's like a lot happening in the middle of the octagon. If there's when pressure comes, he doesn't know how to handle it. He does more so better when it's more of
It's
when he can
calmer.
pace himself, when he could like get his feel of the ring. So it all depends on how Gregory Rodriguez starts the fight. If Gregory just starts out banging and just going crazy in the middle of the ring, then I don't think Hermanson stands a chance, and he's gonna
Hmm.
get knocked out.
Yeah.
And that's why probably the odd makers have made it in favor for Gregory Rodriguez. Um, but having said that, I would lean in with you guys on Hermanson winning because after if that Jared Cannonier fight didn't happen, I would have put Gregory Rodriguez
Oh.
easily.
Oh yeah.
But
Mm.
that was kind of a reality check to show that he's not there yet. But I definitely think it's going to be a close fight. I don't think he's going to knock him out in the first round, and that means it's going to go to decision. But Hermanson's definitely going to be gonna have to get checked on
Oh yeah.
because he is going to eat up some punches from Gregory RoboCop Rodriguez. I didn't even know that was his nickname, by the way. That's a sick
Yeah,
nickname.
that's the education, by the way, Ben. That was
No,
fire.
no,
Um, moving on to our main card. Um, banger, absolute heater.
no.
I am absolutely amped. This could be card possibly card of the year, maybe so far. But
Oh,
just banger after banger.
so far, probably, yeah.
Yeah. And we'll see how the end of the year goes. Could be fight of the year altogether. Or fight card of the year altogether. But let's quick reminder, I do want to hear your guys' lock, all right?
Lock.
But we will get to that when it's your yeah, you understand. You guys aren't stupid. All right. Peyton Talbot versus Felipe Lima. I personally am gonna pick Peyton Talbot in this one. He kind of he did get majorly fraud checked in his last matchup. Um, but I think this one he comes back. He gets that little Frank Ocean love back into him, and edges this one out. And I think it's gonna be a split decision. I don't think it's gonna be a finish from either
Oh,
guy. But I think Talbot gets this one done and kind of proves that he can compete at bantamweight and get himself into the rankings. I do like Felipe Lima. Guy's 14-1 in his professional record, and so far 2-0 in the UFC. I think he has a very good chance at winning this as well. But I kind of I really like Peyton Talbot, and I hope he wins. So we maybe get a Frank Ocean album possibly soon. I think that's why I'm picking him, to be honest, is just the hope
because of Frank
that
Ocean.
Frank because of Frank Ocean. Um, but I do think Felipe Lima has a very good chance at winning this as well by a split decision. Um, but we'll see, guys. We'll see. Let's hear from
No
you.
lock? No lock?
No lock on this one. I'm not using it yet. I know which one I'm using it on, and I
Okay.
don't. One of you won't be very happy about
You go, Samir?
it.
I think that Frank Ocean is gonna be making a song on Sunday to console Peyton Talbot because I think that Peyton Talbot is not winning. We saw it in his last fight. I was part of the Peyton Talbot bandwagon. I was on the hype train. I was watching him, and then we saw the second he got asked to wrestle properly in the UFC, didn't know how to do it.
Oh my god.
And Felipe Lima is I've seen a couple of his highlights. Um, he is very balanced and he has really good fight IQ. And I'm not saying Payne Talbot doesn't, but we've never really seen him have to use that fight IQ in a UFC fight so far. Um, I think that Lima is gonna win just by decision. Like he's just gonna edge it out, have the control time. He's gonna stop Payne Talbot from doing his game because we've seen it in Payne's last fight. If you neutralize Payne Talbot, there's not much that he can rely on. You know, he's more of an offensive fighter, and if you remove his ability to do offense, he doesn't have that one punch and done. He doesn't have that rear naked choke, that takedown. He's more of a momentum fighter, and I don't see him having any momentum in this fight.
Samir with the heel turn. That was crazy. That was crazy. Uh, I personally, I do agree. that if if you can slow him down and not let him stunt on you, basically, you're looking pretty good against him. But I'm still taking Peyton Talbot. I think he's just. I think he's just. I mean, Lima is really nice, I will say, but I do think that Talbot is just. He's gonna bounce back a little bit. He's gonna. I think Peyton Talbot's gonna win like the next 2 or 3 fights, and then fight someone better, and then lose again, and then I think he'll kind of do a little trend like that. I think that Peyton Talbot wins, maybe by knockout, maybe by decision, but I personally take Peyton Talbot.
I just want to call back to one of the first times Samir talked to me about UFC, and he asked me who my favorite prospect was, and he said, if you say Peyton Talbot, I'm gonna walk away from this conversation right now. I like Peyton Talbot. He's definitely not my favorite prospect. I learned that favorite very quickly. I think like the next weekend or two was when he got absolutely bullied. So I'm glad I didn't say that Peyton Talbot was my favorite up and coming guy. But yeah, uh, it's definitely this one is definitely gonna be it's kind of a toss up for I think for all of us. I guess apparently not for Samir because he just likes to hate, but we'll move on to the flyweight bout, the next fight on the card.
Now you say something first, Jacob. I want to hear what your thoughts are.
All right, so
Because
Brendan Royval versus Joshua Van. The number one
I'm good.
ranked flyweight.
No.
What?
You missed a fight. You missed Dariush versus Moicano.
Dariush Moicano is the next. It's the third. It's the third on the card.
On my thing, it's listed as the fourth fight.
On my thing, it's listed as the third. I literally have
Samir. You're the decision maker.
I hate to break it, but Ben is in fact right. For me, it also says.
Okay, the UFC website's fucking dumb. Then, like, this is what I'm on. I'm on the. All right. My fault, guys.
So you tell me what you think about this fight, Jacob. Because I don't think I'm gonna like what you're gonna say.
All right, I got my lock. I'm using it early. I'm not too.
I'm gonna walk to your house right now.
I'm sorry, I'm taking the lock. I'm taking Roynano Moicano to beat Beneil Dariush. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. I genuinely think Moicano is going to dismantle Beneil. And I know it's crazy. Moicano kind of looked very bad in his last lightweight fight, but we gotta remember that's against Islam, the number one ranked guy. Beneil has not looked. He just hasn't looked impressive to me in his last couple fights. Like, yeah, he's fought the top guys.
He fought the best guys.
Yeah, but I don't care, bro. I'm taking Ronaldo Moicano. I think he's in his way. He's on his way up. He's gonna be a real contender in the lightweight division. And
on his way up, he's 36.
Doesn't mean he's not gonna go a little bit higher in the rankings, dog. Like, chill out. I'm giving you my lock. Let me speak my truth. Yes, Beneil, his last two fights were against Charles and Arman Sarukian, the top two guys in the division. But I trust Moicano is gonna come out. Money Moicano is gonna come out and just and stop. Both of you stop shaking your heads at me. You guys, I don't care how crazy you think I am. This is my lock. All right. I'll do something that's like a punishment if I get it wrong. How about that? But this is my lock. I'm taking Moicano. I think Beneil he's just not that guy anymore. I liked Beneil before, Ben. I did, but I think Money Moicano takes this one. He's the betting favorite, barely. I like his striking. I like his takedowns and stuff. I think overall he's looked more impressive to me in his last couple fights. I know Beneil fought Charles and Arman, but both those fights he just didn't impress me. I don't know, but that's my lock of the card. I don't care what y'all think. Y'all can shake your heads. Y'all can both pick Beneil Dariush because I know y'all are. This is my lock. I don't give a shit.
Show Me the Money does to UFC fans, guys.
Jingle some keys in front of your face.
I honestly can't believe. Like, I can understand you picking Renato Moicano, but as a lock is absolutely crazy. You need to put some respect on Benil's name right now. He fought like the hardest two fight. These are top five fighters in that division ever, and
They're the last two guys
and
to. They were like it was the guy who's currently competing for the title and the guy who was supposed to compete for the title.
and you're forgetting that Renato has a chin made out of like paper. Like like he does not have a strong chin at all. Like he's not that good. And when someone puts the pressure on him, all that Renato is good for is making sure the fight lasts long enough for him to get paid more. Because I don't know where this pick came from. Is it because he saved that Islam fight? Because Benil is the much better fighter. I mean, he's an elite chain wrestler. He's a strong southpaw. I know he's a little bit slow when he's defending, which is a downside to his game. But Renato Moicano isn't gonna pressure him.
He's the guy to do it. He's the guy to do it. I don't care. He's the guy to do it. He's gonna
Oh,
pressure him, and Benil's gonna be too slow to respond, and Moicano's gonna fuck him up. I'm telling you. It's not gonna. You guys are gonna look stupid on the next episode, and I'm gonna be king. I'm gonna be king. Fuck both of y'all.
so
I
This
think
is
he gets it
this is
done.
what listening to Renato Moicano for over an hour every week does to you. This is exactly what it does.
the brainwashing.
Because I can't believe it. I'm gonna let Ben explain because I've done a little bit of explaining. But Ben, why don't you back me up and explain why this is such a stupid lock?
I want to assume that you're gonna pick Vanille Dariush.
Of course.
Okay, because Benil Dariush, he is probably my second favorite lightweight in the UFC. I love Benil Dariush. He should have got a title shot. He should have got a title shot. He had the put your headphones back on, Jacob. Put your headphones back on. Don't avoid this. Don't avoid this
I
because
had
he
I
had
had
this.
headphone hair.
He
I
had the
had headphone
second
hair.
longest win streak behind Islam Makachev. He deserved a title shot. And then for some reason they went, nah, Charles, boom, Armin, boom. They're just like lining him up, lining him up. Why the hell didn't he get a title shot? Beats me, man. I think Benil Dariush is so good. And he still, I think, beats most lightweights. Like, I think it's crazy. Uh, I, I can't even comprehend, I can't even comprehend this lock. Like you could say Moicano wins. That I won't even. And he might win. He might win. But the fact that you're like, oh, he's gonna dominate. He's gonna dominate. Oh,
I
Yeah,
that
don't
what's he
Riley.
like.
gonna dominate with? What's he
Like
gonna
maybe not
dominate with?
dominate, but I
His
think I think
money.
he
His
I think
money.
I think he I think he I think he wins. I think this is a lock. I don't
Yeah, by
I
jabbing. By jabbing the whole fight is that how you win like a fight against a great like like
Benil's a
like
really good
Renato
wrestler too.
So is
Benil
Moicano.
not as good as
Moicano's
Benil.
not terrible. He's not awful.
Exactly.
He's
He's
got good
not
jujitsu.
terrible. What does Moicano have that Benil doesn't? Like
Listen,
what
listen,
what
listen,
what
listen.
what advantage does he have going into the fight
Oh,
over Benil? Because I know you can't name me anything.
I think he has a bit more of the momentum going in this. Yes, he lost his last fight to Islam. Did he deserve that title shot? No. He should have fought some other people, but he is like other than the Islam fight, he was on a 3 fight win streak. He's got more momentum. I think Benil is like obviously they're around. I think they're around the same age. Like you said,
they're
Ben
the same
Moicano's like
age.
37. Yeah, so they're the same age. I think Moicano's got the momentum going into this fight. He beat Benoit. He beat Jalen Turner. Like he's gonna like he's still on his way. You know what I mean? Like he still has a good chance to get into that like top 10 area. Do I think Beneil is the more well-rounded fighter overall in his career? Yes. You guys you guys were acting like I hate Beneil. I don't. I like Beneil Dariush too. He's a good fighter. He's a great wrestler. And like Ben said, like he had one of the most active, longest active winning streaks. I just think he doesn't have the momentum going into this. I don't feel that Beneil spark that I have in when he was on that winning streak. And maybe that is because he lost his last two and I'm a little less confident. I just think Moicano has the momentum. I think he goes into this with a bit of a jump. Yes, again, he got finished in the first round by Islam, but he got that title shot and he didn't. I mean, he obviously got finished in the first round, but
He didn't
Islam.
get that title shot. He stepped in.
I will also
Yeah,
point
well,
out
that's what I mean. Like, I don't think he deserved that title shot. I think he should have
something
fought another contender first.
something very interesting, which I also forgot about originally. But Moicano's last fight against Islam was originally going to be Beneil, and then that fight got canceled when Arman got hurt.
Yeah.
So the thing, like, probably the vision around that fight is this guy beat Benoit, so we'll have him fight a guy who's on a two-fight skid like Beneil. So it's someone who could bounce back versus someone who could continue his momentum. Uh, but now it's like that fight doesn't really have that perspective because Moicano lost his last fight. So I think it's very interesting, a very interesting story, one might say. And
Yeah,
I,
it's my lock. I'm sorry. I don't care what you guys
I
say.
per,
I think
you know what?
it's a lock.
I'll uh, I'll just say I disagree, and we'll move on.
And we'll move on. We'll move on. We I got attacked for like 20 minutes there.
Yep,
Um. Anyways, moving on. The fight that I was previously gonna talk about,
yep.
but I guess my card's all weird. Brendan Royval versus Josh Van. The number one ranked flyweight contender versus the number 12 ranked flyweight contender. I assume we're all gonna have a similar pick here. Ben's got his hand up like a very respectful young fellow.
Hello.
We're just gonna throw it right to Ben to let him talk about this.
I'm picking my lock right here. I'm
It's a
saying
fair one.
Raw Dog Royval. Ah, gets the lock. Gets the lock. Now I will say that's unfortunate because I actually want Josh Van to win. I like Josh Van, but he fought like 3 weeks ago, and he like as a short notice fight. He fought this month, like the first card of the month. It's gonna be. I think it's gonna be too quick of a turnaround. That means he's gonna have to go back up and then cut weight again. Also against what's Royval like the number one or number two contender in the
He's number
entire
one.
division. I think it's gonna be
Number
too
one.
much. It's gonna be too much for Van. Now Van could do well, but I don't think he's gonna win, and I think it's a lock for my boy Raw Dog.
I mean, I agree. This is like the most predictable fight of the night. I mean, one of the reasons I also edge it to Royval is because Van is a young
Oh
prospect,
yeah,
and I know
He's like 23, right?
something
he's
like that.
22, I think,
Damn.
Hmm.
and like just rushing into fights like this, not very smart. And obviously, it does show to Dana and the matchmakers that he is eager to fight, and he is a guy that will help the UFC. And we've seen when UFC has guys like that, they do end up repaying them.
Mhm.
But not very smart. I mean, Brandon Royval, crazy scrambler. He has like crazy cardio. And he's off of like just a great run recently. And I know Joshua Van is 3-0, but he hasn't fought someone like Royval, and the inexperience for me is just gonna show colors. It's not gonna be close, but I don't see Joshua Van winning this in any reality. Like it's either gonna be a UD or it's just gonna be a knockout. And we just gotta hope that Joshua Van can stay in the fight. He had a really good fight in the last card,
Mhm.
but again, he's fighting a more experienced guy. I think ranked number 1. No, he's
Yeah,
number
yeah,
one contender. Yeah,
yes. Number
like
one versus
that's just
number 12.
it's just way too big of a jump. It's just and he might put up a good fight, but even Joshua Van, I think, knows that going into this fight, the only prospects he has is improving his ranking.
Hmm.
Like I don't think he's gonna win.
I think,
But and it's not.
yeah. I
You go
think the
ahead.
best I think the best case scenario for him, I mean he could win. Like, you never know, but I think the best case scenario for Josh Van is winning one, maybe two rounds on Royval.
Yeah,
And worst case is he gets knocked the fuck out.
The craziest thing to me about this fight is how, like, I don't mean to be a betting guy here, like that's not the point of the show, but like how close the betting odds are on this one. Like
Are
Josh
they?
Van's only a plus 105. He's a plus 105 underdog, and
Wow.
Royval's a negative 125 favorite.
That's
Like
crazy.
that's
That's actually
ridiculous.
just
I
that's
don't know.
actually a hype train. That's actually hype train.
yeah, I don't
Yeah,
understand
and
that.
like, and I hate to, again, I hate to be like just like a conformant in your guys' picks as well, but I think this one's just kind of easy. I wanted to pick this as my lock too, Ben, but I didn't want to be basic. Sorry. Um, but Brendan Royval, I think, just gets this done very easily. Let's not discredit Josh Van. I think he's gonna be a guy at flyweight that's gonna be a
Oh yeah.
contender for. I mean, he's only
A
23 for the
decade.
next 10-ish years. Yeah,
Yeah.
like he's possibly a soon to be champ in a couple years. But like you guys said, too quick of a turnaround, too hard of an opponent. Like you're going against Brendan Royval. Like this guy's in his last 6 fights, he's 5-1, and the only one he lost to was Pantoja, which everybody has lost to Pantoja, and so it's not a surprise there, right? But again, like to kind of piggyback off of what you guys said, um, Rival's just really he's just dominant, and I just don't think I think Josh Van his best chance is to edge this out to a decision and hope that it just boosts his rankings. I think if he goes to decision with Rival and it's a close like 29-28, I think that moves him up to like the 8th ranked spot. Like that,
Yeah.
that's a good performance. And I completely agree with you, Samir, about being kind of a company man. Like it shows that he wants to fight. He wants to take as many as he can and continue to build his rankings, build his brand as a UFC fighter. And hey, if you're a company man in the UFC, you're gonna get the better fights. Even if he loses this by knockout,
Yeah.
he'll probably stay in the rankings and fight another like top ranked guy. Like he might not even have to fight down just because he took this, right? Go ahead, Ben. I saw you put
Uh,
your hand
I
up.
was also gonna say, also, I just completely blanked. In my head, for some reason I thought this was a 5 round fight. Since it's a 3 round fight, Royval is he might go 3-0. I was like, if it's a 5 round, maybe Van will win one or two, but Van's not winning
Yeah.
one or two in a 3 round fight.
I would actually really enjoy seeing this as a 5 round fight. I think it
Hmm.
kind of sucks. This would have been a great like main event fight night. But I mean, this very well could be in a couple years. But with two already 5 round fights on this, it makes sense that they didn't want to make it another 5 round.
Hmm.
That's too many. But moving on to our co-main, we haven't heard Samir's lock yet. Maybe this is it. Maybe he's waiting until the main event.
This is the
But
lock.
this is the lock. All right, all right.
This
Let's
is
let's
it.
let's hear it. We have the champion Alexander Pantoja taking on the New Zealander Kai Kara France. Let's hear it, Samir. Let's hear the lock.
Kai
It's
Kara needs to put that tongue away. Pantoja for the win. The easiest lock ever. Have we ever seen a fighter in the last how many years even challenge Pantoja? Like it doesn't matter who you put in front of him. They literally took another they took another company's main fighter,
yep.
put him into the UFC just to give him a little like scare Pantoja. Just be like, hey, this guy's a champion. Look how he fights out in Japan. Boom, finished. Like I love Kai Kara. He is one of my favorite fighters. Although I will be happy to see him lose today because of what he did to my goat, Steve.
Ugh.
But I just don't think like joking aside, I just think it's they're just throwing whoever they can throw at
Hmm.
Pantoja at this point because I mean Alejandro Pantoja, he's a great scrambler. He is a durability machine. I've never seen him gas out.
Hmm.
Like I don't think I've genuinely ever seen him gas out. And for a guy that's on that likes to fight on the feet in Kaikara, France, do you genuinely think he's lasting past the third round? Because I don't think so. I haven't seen him put up that much work. He is a fighter that prefers fighting people that also will stand up and box and strike with him. Pantoja's not that guy. You play Pantoja's game. This is Pantoja's fight. I mean, what is Kai Kara France gonna do? The only way he can beat Pantoja is by knockout or by getting a lot of strikes on him. But that's just not gonna happen. We've never seen it happen. I mean, Kai Kara's he's literally his worst part of his game is his takedown defense. Putting him up against one of the best in his division
Yeah.
at takedowns. It is the biggest lock of all time, although I would love to be proved wrong because I am so sick and tired of just wanting to go to sleep or skipping a fight because I already know what's gonna happen. So
Yeah.
I pray to the UFC gods that I'm wrong, but I 99% will not be.
Yeah, I hate to go against your lock here, Samir. And I really, really believe that Pantoja is one of the, he's great. He's great. But I am gonna take my New Zealand boy, Kai Kara France. I'm expecting like I think Pantoja's he's been here for too long. I think he's gonna come in a little too overconfident. And I think Kai Kara's got a good chance to clip him. Like I do agree, Pantoja's durability is is immensely up there with some of the greatest UFC fighters of all time. He's amazing at takedowns, takedown defense. His jiu-jitsu is Pantoja's one of the greats. We can't really discredit him at all, and he should be way higher in the pound for pound rankings. But we'll probably get to that. But I do I just have a weird feeling. I have a weird burning feeling that I think Kai Kara might has a good decent chance at clipping him. He's got hands of steel. He's one of a flyweight that we've seen knock out people left and right, and I think this might be it for Pantoja. Now, don't get me wrong. If Pantoja wins, I'm not gonna be surprised at all. I think he's got a great chance at winning this fight. I don't know. It's like a feeling inside me that Kai Kara Pantoja's time has run out. It's his. Do I think he could probably win the belt back? Yeah, obviously. But I think the sun has set on this title reign from Pantoja, and I think Kai Kara gets it done. And I think I think KO. I think TKO KO in the second or third round. I think that's just me. That's just me.
I am surprised in that decision. I'm not gonna. I agree with Samir. I think Pantoja wins. I do think it'll be probably a decision, but like Jacob said, Kai Kara could get a KO TKO. Sorry about that.
Oh no. Oh
No,
no.
sorry about that.
Oh
Sorry
no.
about that. I just saw everything freeze for a second. We're back.
You're back. You're
Yeah.
back.
I will say I was just looking at it. The last time Alexander Pantoja lost was to Askar Askarov, who isn't in the UFC anymore. And it was on Figueiredo versus Benavidez 2. And I was looking at that card. It was so long ago that Armin Sarukian was on the prelims of that card.
Yeah, like I don't know why this is even a discussion.
I I'm just gonna pick Pantoja by kind of whatever he wants, and that like Samir said, he's just kind of a boring fight. Like he's boring in that he's just so much better than everybody else. That's the problem with flyweight is that I feel like it's always just consistently dominated by one person. It's like whether it's Demetrius Johnson, Cejudo, like it's just everybody's just like it's just dominant and then they disappear. I really think that they're just going to keep throwing people at Pantoja until he eventually moves up to try and fight Merab or whoever's champion at the time at bantamweight. It's just a
That's a
waiting
fight I
game.
want to see.
Oh yeah,
That's
oh
a fight I
yeah.
want to see. That's the only reason I hope. Like, not that I don't like Pantoja. I just want to see flyweight get mixed up a bit.
Hmm.
But however, if Pantoja does win, I do want him to take that Merab fight. I think now because Merab fight at the beginning of this month, Pantoja's fighting at the end of the month. They could very well
Timeline
make a
perfect.
timeline.
Yeah.
Exactly, and that's a fight I think a lot of people want to see. Like I don't know who wouldn't want to see that. It's two dominant guys who are kind of right now both dominating their division, and there's not really a top guy that anyone sees taking the belt from either of them. So
Hmm.
I'd really that'd be a really entertaining. I think the only reason I'd really want Pantoja to win. No discredit to Pantoja. I think he's amazing. He's a really fun, interesting fighter because he always does something different in his fights. Like he always seems like he catches his opponents off guard with what he can do. But again, Kai Kara TKO third round. I'm calling it.
That's
All right.
crazy.
All right.
That's
Um.
absolutely crazy.
All right. Now moving on to our main event. Ilya El Matador Topuria versus Charles Du Bronx Oliveira. I'm gonna lead this off
Hmm.
by taking the Brazilian Charles Du Bronx Oliveira, my current and favorite UFC fighter. I know it might be a little basic, but man, I love Charles Oliveira. I really want to see that belt wrapped around his waist again.
Oh yeah.
Do I think he has the best chance against Ilya Topuria? Not amazing. It's not like Ilya's the legend killer as we've seen, and this could easily be a knockout in the first in any round for Topuria just with his power. I don't know if Samir, I don't know if you saw the interview he did recently on like a YouTube channel, like a mini press conference, but he said he's feeling the healthiest he's ever felt. He feels so happy about not having to cut all that weight. He is a thick guy, so I think he possibly could be at his best. But again, we haven't seen him fight at lightweight, and I'm interested to see how he kind of takes on a guy who's been at lightweight for a long time and has done really well in this division. So I'm very interested to see, and I'm very interested to see the weigh-ins and how much bigger Charles looks compared to Taporia, and maybe how much bigger Taporia looks than Charles because they're very different body types. But I'm gonna take Charles. I think Ilya in most fights Ilya is super confident. Obviously he has that like kind of like moxiness to him and that confidence. But I think this one it almost feels too against Charles Oliveira, who we know is one of the most dangerous finishers of all time in the UFC. And I think honestly, I think Ilya's gonna knock him down, and then Charles pulls guard in most, as we see in most of his fights. And Ilya's we haven't seen Ilya's jiu-jitsu in a while. Like we don't know how well he can defend against an elite submission artist like Charles de Bronx. I really think Charles has a good shot at getting this done and being one of the first people to take away Ilya's zero. I think if it's anybody, right now it's Charles. I think he has one of the better chances to do it, and I think he takes home his belt and takes it back home to Brazil, and the favelas. I'm gonna take my boy Du Bronx. Shake your head all you want, Samir. Go. Let's hear yours. Let's hear yours.
Michael Chandler had Charles Oliveira wobbling. That's all I needed. That's all I needed to say. If a guy like Michael Chandler could do that, what do you think of this guy? See, I would have picked Charles. Any other fighter, I don't care who he's fighting, I would have picked Charles. But this is the dream killer right here. Aura farmer galore. Every time, all those edits, all those UFC edits, that made me believe that Volk was back. That made me think that Holloway was gonna get that perfect. Like Ilya brought us back to reality, and he is gonna bring Charles back to reality. The only way I see Charles winning is not getting knocked out in the first round. And is he not going to get knocked out in the first round? He probably will, because we've seen in every first round, like almost every first round of his fights, he gets hit in the first round. And he just manages to wobble, get back to his corner, and then just go on as the fight goes on. But I just don't think Charles has it in him. I mean, Ilya is the most well-rounded fighter I think the UFC has seen in years. Like years. Like I don't like Ilya that much, but I love Charles, but Charles is just the old wave of fighters. Ilya is the new wave, and I don't think Charles has fought a fighter like Ilya before. He's just gonna get blown out the water, unfortunately. It's gonna be like that Dustin fight. It's gonna be like that Volk fight where all the hype goes in, all these edits make you believe, and then when the fight starts, you go right back to reality. And it is really unfortunate. But I want to hear what Ben thinks because
I
he's also shaking his head.
I no, I'm shaking my head at something else, but we'll get to that later. I'm not sure who I, I'm very tossed up between the two. I think it could go very well either way. I will make a point, Samir. You did say that he got wobbled by Chandler, which is true, which is true. But also, Charles Oliveira has gotten wobbled by Chandler in his other fight, Dustin. Just like he gets wobbled in every single fight before the Islam fight. He got wobbled all the time and still got the finish on people. So like it is a question of his chin should very much be asked, but also at the same time his comeback ability could be a factor. With
No,
what do you mean no?
look at what happened to Max Holloway. That's all we needed to know. If a guy like Max can't survive, what makes you think
But that's at
Charles is?
featherweight.
It's
That's
also
at featherweight.
that's also a completely
Different weight
different
class.
that's a different example because Max Holloway rarely looked like he was going to get butchered and then come back and finish people. That's basically all of Charles Oliveira's fights in the last 3 years.
Yeah, but I think that wouldn't be an advantage. I think that's a disadvantage if you've never gone in a fight and looked dominant the whole fight. You're talking like some of these fighters are the elite of the elite. He has done it against the elite of the elite, but a guy like Michael Chandler, you're telling me he has the same power as Ilya Taporia? I don't think so. And for a guy like Michael Chandler to look like he even has the slightest chance against you, and especially I love Oliveira, but this mindset by the edits needs to go away. He's the longest active fighter in the UFC right now.
Mhm.
Like he should be good,
I,
but he isn't the best, and that's why I'm
I
not really fussed up.
I'm going to stop you right there because I didn't even make my decision. With that all being said, I'm still taking Ilya Tapuria to win the title. You were saying all that, I was like, hey, I agree. Because with that all being said, with Ilya probably going to knock Charles down, and maybe Charles can do what he has done to everybody minus Islam, I still do think that Ilya is just I think he's just gonna pummel him low key, but there could also be a size disadvantage because a small featherweight versus a really lanky dude. You never know, but I do, I think Ilya is going to win, but I very much hope that Charles Oliveira gets the dub because I love the Bronx, I love the Bronx, but I'm taking Ilya.
I like. I just love the Bronx. I just think that he gets this done. I think he has the more grit. I know you can shake your head all you want, Samir. All right, Ilyas
Loving
Sapori,
loving a
he's really
fighter
good.
loving a fighter does not mean he's gonna win a fight. He has to
Yeah, but
actually
like
be the better fighter, and he's not.
yeah, but we don't know how Ilya like obviously Ilya had the one lightweight fight versus was it like Jai Herbert was it the Jai Herbert fight he fought at
Hmm.
lightweight and he looked really good, but I
He
am
also
nervous to
he also
see
did
how
kind of get knocked down in that fight.
that's what I mean. Like he hasn't other than that Jai Herbert fight, he hasn't seen the power of a true lightweight contender like Charles. Like I genuinely think that's the biggest what if in this fight is how is Ilya gonna look at lightweight? Because I completely agree with you guys. I think that Ilya is a pound for pound like top 5-3 guy.
Hmm.
Like he could easily be the number 2 guy right now. But I just genuinely think that that's the biggest what if for me. That's my biggest question mark is how is Ilya gonna look against a seasoned vet at this weight class for the past however long? Like, and Charles has that power as well. He in the Michael Chandler fight, he stumbled Michael Chandler too. In the Gaethje fight, he also looked decent on the feet enough to the point where Gaethje kind of had to think about it, and then Charles got the takedown and submitted him. I think you're discrediting a little bit of Charles's ability to stand up and strike as well. Is Ilya the better boxer? Obviously, but again, I feel like Charles has a good chance to show us that he is still able to win UFC gold and kind of show that Ilya isn't possibly as dominant at lightweight as he was at featherweight. That's this.
That's
I'm
fair.
just that's my biggest what if for this fight. You know what I mean?
Charles also
I don't know.
Charles just has that random like, oh my god, he just like catches people randomly, and
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's kind of how he won the title. He had like four straight fights of, oh my god, he's gonna get knocked out. He just won. What? It was like four
yeah,
straight
and
fights of that. So it could continue. It could.
my
and honestly,
Michael.
even in the knockouts with Alexander Volkanovski and Max Holloway with Ilya, I gotta say, like Ilya jumps right in. Like he doesn't take a sec and like think. As soon as they get knocked down, he jumps right in. Sure, he could be training against Charles, but Charles is really good at surviving on the ground. He knows how to pull guard
Mhm.
and catch guys in submissions when they get too aggressive like that and switch the position. Yes, we've seen Ilya submit guys, but I haven't seen enough of his jujitsu to be super confident in his ability to on the ground. In the Bryce Mitchell fight, he looked good, but Bryce Mitchell also had some good, decent wrestling exchanges in it, right? And we all like Charles Oliveira is a way better grappler and submission artist than Bryce Mitchell. I think we'll see how it kind of goes. Do I think Ilya wins this? No, I think Charles gets it done. Obviously, I picked Charles, but is there a really, really good chance, like deep down in my brain, do I think there's a really, really good chance Ilya dominates this fight? Yeah, honestly, I'm just gonna be truthful. But I gotta go for my boy DeBron because I have to.
Yeah.
I can't bet against him. It's not in my will. It's not there.
So do you think that going into this fight, let's just say Charles does win,
Mhm.
how big of an upset is that?
I think it's major, honestly. Like the betting odds aren't out for this fight, but I think it's a major upset because a lot of people, a lot of people are thinking Ilya is going to come in and knock Charles out in the first or second round, which is completely fair. I mean, both of you guys said that, but I genuinely think if Charles wins this, it's a huge upset, right? Like it's a guy who lost against Islam and has kind of been questionable in his last couple and does get knocked down a lot. But if he beats a guy who has pure knockout power and can has finished Volk and Max, like that's a great win for Charles and
Mhm.
etches him further into the UFC record books of one of the greatest to ever put on the venom, put on the shorts, put on the gloves, whatever.
I completely
But
agree.
let's wait. Sorry, Ben, you got one more thing to say?
No, 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 no. We're done with the picks.
Okay.
Breaking
Yep.
news. Breaking
Yep.
news. Posted
Oh, breaking right now.
in yeah, in the last like since we've started recording, Dana White has announced a fight. The main event of Noche UFC Diego Lopez versus Jean Silva.
Yo, that is
Ooh,
a
that's
crazy
sick.
fight.
That's sick. Hold on. Hold on.
That
That's
is a great.
Fuck. I don't like that fight. I don't like that fight. I love those two fighters.
Yeah.
No,
I don't want to see
no,
either of them lose.
So
no. This
yeah,
can't be. This can't be.
that is an absolute banger. I swiped down my notifications. I saw Dana. It was a Dana is live fight news. I'm like, oh, hello. So I went to Instagram. I saw it. Yeah, it is official. Jean Silva versus Diego Lopez for the main event, which also means Diego Lopez will not be fighting Yair Rodriguez, which also means it's probably Yair versus Alexander Volkanovski.
Boo.
Unless out of nowhere Movsar Evloev is like alive, but I
He's
haven't
on.
heard
He's
anything
on.
about I haven't
He
heard
spawned
anything
back
about
into the
him.
world.
Yeah, I haven't heard about him in like the last I don't even know how long. So it's probably
Like
gonna be
year and a half.
yeah. So it's
Something
gonna
like that.
be Yair versus Volk probably. Anyways, let's how do we feel about that Lopes versus Silva matchup?
Oh man, I
I'm
I kind of
scared
have to
for
agree with
Lopez.
Samir because like I like both of these guys, and I'm kind of scared for both of them to lose, and especially kind of scared for Lopez, like you just said, Samir.
Yeah.
Like John Silva is a scary, scary fighter who is gonna take the featherweight division by storm. Whether he loses or wins this fight, he's still gonna be a top guy. Man, man, I'm kind of speechless right now. You
Mhm.
you go ahead. You guys go ahead.
Personally, these are
That
my two favorite these are my two favorite fighters in this division for the future because both of them are so flashy, so fun, so just entertaining to all regards. And now they're fighting each other. It's a huge risk for Diego Lopez, and I'm so excited because it's very similar to say like the Roy Val Josh Van fight. It's such a huge gap in the rankings to where it's like if one guy wins, it could just tank his stock, or if the lower ranked guy John Silva wins, he could be fighting for the title in like two fights, maybe even his next fight, depending. I mean, if Yair Rodriguez gets a title shot, John Silva can get a title shot of Diego Lopez. So
yeah.
there's huge. I think honestly, I think whoever wins this matchup could be fighting for the featherweight title in their next match.
I
Woo!
I just I don't see a world where Diego Lopez wins, and that brings me to absolute.
Really?
That makes that puts me in shambles.
You think
Like
John Silva's just gonna
Silva,
like just like dominate?
he is like he is in that class of Ilya Toporia's where he's really well rounded. Like
Hmm.
I
Oh, that Bryce
what are
Mitchell.
what are
Oh,
He cooked Bryce Mitchell.
like I haven't seen like a fight that one sided in a while.
Hmm.
Like and it's not against some like just ranked fighter that's just there to be ranked. Bryce
It's
Mitchell,
the
whether you
best
like him or
grappler.
not, yeah, whether you like him or not, he is a great fighter. He is an elite fighter. And
Hmm.
Silva Silva, even though he's lower ranked, going into this fight, he would be my favorite. I mean, like, because the Diego Lopez's fighting style is just at a disadvantage in today's UFC. This is why I'm not. This is why I think that Jean Silva is gonna do better and should be the favorite. Is because he is more in tune with what the UFC is today, rather than Diego Lopez, and that is unfortunate because Diego Lopez is everything I love about mixed martial arts. Just a guy that's out there crazy, going out for blood. And even if he loses his fight, props to Diego Lopez because I haven't seen a fighter not be this scared. Like you could give him John Jones and he'd say yes. Like honestly, like props to Diego Lopez because he's not afraid of a fight.
Hmm.
This one's kind of scary though. It is
Oh
really
yeah,
scary.
it could very much go either way, and that's the thing. I don't even know. Like, I would, I think I might agree. I'd probably lean Silva, even though he's 9 ranks lower, just because like he's much more fast paced, and Diego likes to like slow it down, get his jabs going, get his striking, work his way in. Versus Silva, he's just gonna like he's gonna do like trying to do a backflip and knock you out. And then he's gonna do like a backflip and then try and do a leg lock or some like you never know what he's gonna do. So I do think John Silva might actually win that, but I would love to see either way. I love both fighters. I'm not mad either way.
Yeah, I just have to agree with both of you that like I don't hate either of these guys. It kind of sucks that they're being put against each other, but it also makes sense in the fact that John Silva is an up and coming, lot of hype guy, and Diego Lopez is also that up and like he's there. You know what I mean? Like he fought for the title. He is one of the top guys in this division, and this is a honestly a great fight to make. And I'm very excited to see how this one goes. I think also lean John Silva. Not to discredit Diego Lopez, but I haven't seen a John Silva fight where John Silva looks worse in any aspect of MMA than the other guy. Like
Hmm.
he just dominates. He intimidates. You know what I mean? Like even even Bryce Mitchell was saying he was having nightmares about John Silva. Like
He was
John
demon.
Silva is yeah, like he's the ultimate intimidator because he backs up everything he can do, and to the point of like excellent, like craziness. Like he barks at you when you're fighting. Like that's scary. Like I don't care how many fights in my MMA career I would have. If I'm in a fight and the guy starts barking, like no, I'm good actually. Like I'm running. That's crazy. Good job, Dana. Good job.
I will
Wait.
also once again come back to this. Where the hell is Movsar?
Yeah, we
Did
don't
he
know.
die? Is he gonna fight like? Is he gonna fight Lerone Murphy? Like what happened to him
No, he'll fight like Arnold Allen or something.
again? Like
I probably
like
I don't know.
like
It's weird.
watch him fight Brian Ortega. Okay, that's free eats. That's barbecue chicken.
um, yeah, I don't know. I don't know. But moving on, we did to some more news in the UFC. Saturday night,
Do we even need to talk about him? I'm not even gonna say his name. Do we even need to talk about him?
No.
Do we just
the
not even
Saturday night.
do we not even acknowledge
We
what
don't even
happened on Saturday?
we we don't.
Are we
Okay,
done
let's
with
just
him?
how about let's say the news. Let's say the news, and that's it. Guys, John Jones retired.
Okay.
Wow! Oh my
Whoa, crazy.
god!
All right. Moving on. Moving on.
Tom
Alex.
Aspinall's the champ.
Yeah, yeah. That's finally, finally he's the champ. Um, more news though.
God is good.
I'm just scrolling through my updated pound for pound rankings. I kind of want to talk to you guys about this
Okay.
because Alexandre Pantoja
Uh,
is tied for ninth with Alex
Oh,
Pereira.
that is
When
crazy.
when the other rankings are Islam, Marab, Ilya, Dricus, Magomed, Volk, JDM, Tom, and then Pantoja and Pereira. I I personally think this is ridiculous. Like JDM just won the belt. He hasn't had a defense yet. He literally just won it. Same with Magomed. Just won the belt, hasn't had a defense, and not even a convincing win to get the belt. Like a very boring fence grab kind of fight where he just kind of subdued Alex to the point where Alex couldn't really do anything. The fact that Pantoja is still ninth after having, like Ben said, his last loss was in what 2020, 2021, like
mhm.
4 to 5 years ago.
To
This guy's
Askar
dominating a
Askarov.
division. To Askarov, he's dominating a division. It's absolutely ridiculous that Pantoja is not higher. He should be a top five guy, maybe just like six.
Where would you put him?
So I definitely keep him under Islam, Marab, Ilya. But like
And then
even after that, like Dricus maybe, but definitely not Volk. Right now, definitely not Volk. Pantoja clears Volk. I'm sorry. It's
I
it's
have him
absolutely
four.
ridiculous.
I have him four.
4 to 5.
Huh.
And that's
But
total like
for
that's
some reason, JDM and Tom Aspinall. No disrespect, Tom Aspinall. I love you, Tom Aspinall. But you're not above the guy who's cleared out the flyweight division.
This is
yeah.
this is just BS again. And I thought we got done with this when Demetrius left,
The
but you
anti-flyweight
could clearly see the anti-flyweight like
propaganda.
agenda
Yeah,
that they have because it's like, what are you seeing?
yeah,
Like like Magomed being above Pantoja
yeah,
is the worst one here because for me, like I understand Volk because maybe in your head it's like the past,
yeah.
even
So
though
he
this is
he
pound for
still,
pound right now. And
yeah,
this is what I don't understand with these rankings, and a problem with that I've had with pound for pound as of recent. There's so much bias
hmm
to what has happened in the past
hmm
rather than taking what a fighter is. Like JDM is only ranked that high because he got the belt.
he did beat
If
Bilal
if
though, who was also pretty high ranked.
but that's what I'm saying. It shouldn't be you get like pound for pound isn't you beat this fighter, you become that rank.
Right?
You
Yeah,
take his spot. That's just
yeah.
not how pound for pound works. Pound for pound is
The best.
pound for pound, you are the best. And
hmm
JDM is not better than Pantoja. If they were at
hmm
the same weight, not better. I don't see JDM beating him. I don't see Magomed beating him. I don't see current Volk beating him. And this is talking about current.
Yeah,
And
he's one
and
in one in three in
Aspinall
his last four.
and Aspinall, I just don't think he should be ranked higher than Pantoja because Pantoja hasn't lost a fight. Pantoja has gone through an epidemic, got out of the epidemic, back to normal life, stock market gone down, countries fighting each other, and he still hasn't lost.
hmm
And you're putting up a guy that really the only reason he's that high up in Aspinall is because he called out Jones. Like I'm sorry that, and this is like not the main talking point of this.
Yeah,
We're more talking about Pantoja,
yeah.
but something to do with me in Aspinall. I'm not feeling the hype. Not saying that he's not as good as he is, but people are talking about him like they've watched all of his fights.
hmm
And I guarantee you, people only watched his Curtis Blades fight and just started talking like he's the greatest.
I will throw this out there. I still do think Pantoja is better than Aspinall, but do you think it has an effect? I mean, the win streaks are 7-3, but I will say those three Tom Aspinall fights are three first round knockouts versus, for example, Pantoja's last three, he's had two decisions against Royval, Urseg, and then destroyed Asakura. So do you think that like finishing plays more of a factor than actually winning the fights?
Well, yes and no, because heavyweight is literally no,
That's
like
what it's
you're
supposed to
not
be.
seeing you're not seeing two people grapple for five. You're gonna get booed.
Yeah,
Like heavyweight
unless you're
is
Curtis Blades.
like Tom Aspinall's opponents were kind of tailor made for him. And I'm not saying they were given to him. They weren't. But for a fighter as well rounded as Tom Aspinall, the only reason Tom Aspinall is this great is because he is the first heavyweight to finally make the progression that other divisions have
hmm
done. And this is why he's so dominant because it feels like watching the old guard
hmm
against one new fighter
Yeah,
that just knows how to fight. And I'm saying the
it's
second
a bunch of guys who only throw versus one guy who can go. I can grapple a little bit.
we see a fighter like Tom Aspinall, he's gone. He's gone. And that's why I don't understand the disrespect on Pantoja's name. I mean, you throw like to it, we've had to get to the to the Kai Asakura fight to finally realize that hey, whatever we throw at this guy doesn't even matter. But before this, every single fighter that Pantoja was put up against, people were hyping them up. People were saying, "Oh, this is the guy to end it. This is the guy. This is the guy to come in. He's so much better than Pantoja." And then at time and time again, he's just disproved it. Pound for pound for me should be taken into account what you've done for your division
hmm
and just based off of how dominant he's been, gotta be top five.
Yeah.
And
I
to
think
be
yeah.
co ninth is absolutely insane to me. And
Yeah.
it just shows what Dana and the rest of the UFC think about the flyweight division.
It's also really weird to see considering like the difference between like Marab versus Pantoja, because like Pantoja's won the title and he's been doing more with the title than Marab has, but because Marab throws out some emotes, they're like, oh, he beat Sean O'Malley, put him at number two. Versus Pantoja, he just beats one of the best risen fighters in the world.
Really.
He beats Raw Dog Royval. They're like, okay, you beat Brandon Moreno, good job, bruh. Wait, this guy beat Sean O'Malley? He's number two.
Yeah, it's just absolutely ridiculous to disrespect, and it's gotten to the point where it's almost embarrassing for the UFC because I think every fight fan can agree that this like I swear like the craziest thing I remember when the pound for pound rankings it was Sean Strickland over Pantoja. Like what are
Yeah,
we doing with
yeah,
that? Like that's absolutely ridiculous. Like the disrespect is it's got to stop.
yeah.
Like these guys are fighters. They're in a division. Pantoja is dominating this. He's walking through everybody in this division. He's almost cleared it out at this point. What else does he have to do to be a top five? He shouldn't have to do
Mm-hmm.
anymore. And I bet even if he beats Kai Kara this weekend, he's gonna move up to maybe 8, maybe 7. Like he's when at that point he should be maybe top 3.
I
It should
think
maybe be Islam Ilya him. Like who's better? There's not a champion that's better
You
right
could
now.
put him above Marab even, arguably.
That's what I'm
I,
saying. Like
like,
Marab could be 4.
yeah,
I
If
think
he beats Kai Kara, I don't see why not at that point. Like who else does it? What else does he need to do? Go up and beat
beat
Marab?
Marab pretty much.
I
Yeah, like
I just think it kind of shows like the double standards that the UFC has and it still it still makes me really angry because my whole standpoint from this ranking is not just a disrespect to the flyweight division, but to see that Dana White has not learned anything from the way he treated Demetrius. Like, it's absolutely insane to me. This is carbon copy. Just
Yeah,
because this guy is not talking shit, going out crazy, has some crazy haircut, some face tat, just because he's just a fighter that cares about fighting and backs it up with his fighting
yeah.
and not his mouth, he's getting disrespected.
He's kind of
And this is
boring, and
how
that's it.
and that's what Dana sees for the rankings or whoever's in charge of the rankings. But you're not seeing the reason he's boring is because he's so much better than everyone else. It's not
he's
because
miles.
it's that's the only reason he's boring. He's not a boring fighter. It's just he has no competition. He's
Hmm.
boring because there's not one point in the fight that you think he'll get. He's even threatened.
Yeah,
For me to say those words and have this person ranked at ninth is
ridiculous.
insane because
Yeah.
you're not even cracking the top five,
Hmm.
and and and
It's
Not
just
even
and
brutal.
sniffing it.
and,
And yeah,
just to talk a little bit more about Aspinall and other fighters, they're naughty. They don't even fight as much as he does.
hmm,
And I know for Aspinall, it's the Jones situation as well as the injury, but we're putting what they have on
yeah,
the table, not their
yeah,
potential,
yeah,
because that's what pound for pound is. And if we're putting what both these guys have on the table, it's honestly ridiculous. And same thing with
Yeah.
JDM, and same thing with Marab because doesn't fight that often either.
yeah,
So it's crazy to have someone that does well for the organization, never complains, is on a win streak. Honestly, probably he is one of the goats of his division. Probably gonna finish as the unanimous like if he keeps fighting like this, he is over Demetrius.
you
He
could
is
even
over
argue he is
Demetrius.
now.
Yeah. Honestly. It's just it's brutal. It's absolutely brutal.
Yeah,
But moving on really quick, we're gonna do like that little segment, just pick your fighter really quick, one quick sentence about why. Not many fights have been announced. I mean we did discuss the Jean Silva um
Lopez.
Why can't I think of the Lopez fight? But the only one that I've really seen that got announced in the past week since we filmed last week was why can't why am I blanking on names right now? Hold on now. Um,
I'm Evolve Borrelio.
I'm of Braulio. I'll go first really quick. I think Imavov gets this done. Actually, no, fuck it. I'm gonna say Braulio. I think Imavov's striking ability is up there with some of the best at middleweight. I think he definitely, if he wins this, he's getting the next title shot. But whether it's against Kamzat, whether it's against DDP, Imavov deserves it if he wins this. However, I think Kaio's grappling and wrestling ability is much, much more advanced in that sense, and I think he's just gonna take Imavov down to the ground and smother him with takedowns, smother him with top control. I don't think he'll get a submission. I think it could be a very boring kind of wrestle fest, but I think Braulio gets it done and gets that top control and doesn't let it go.
You seem very confident in that decision. You're with your little flip flop. Samir, what do you think?
For that fight,
Yeah,
Imavov Braulio.
I mean, that's kind of tough because
yeah.
I'm just trying to make the decision off my. If I'm gonna say someone, I'm probably gonna say Imavov. Oh wait, where's the fight happening? Do we know yet?
That's a good question.
It's France, right?
Oh, is it in
It's a French
France?
France.
card. I think it is the French
Oh.
card.
Oh,
So
Okay, so
that's
if it's on the
home.
French card,
home
I don't
turf.
know,
Home
man.
turf.
I don't know, man. If it was anywhere in the Middle East, I got Imavov all the way. Um, not sure to be honest. Not sure for this fight, but I'm just gonna stick to Imavov. Well, once I'm more well rounded with my info, definitely gonna give a better opinion. But for now, I'm just gonna rely on the all reliable Imavov.
I isn't am I mistaken or isn't Nasruddin Imavov also part French?
He's French. He's
He is
basically French.
French. He is
Oh, okay.
French.
Because I was like, because
I
isn't
just know.
he's French and Russian, isn't he? Right. Okay.
Yeah, yeah,
That's what I was thinking. I was like, because that's home turf. But then you were saying about Abu Dhabi. I'm
I
like,
know,
wait, is
but
he?
any Russian fighter in Abu Dhabi is guaranteed to win. It
I
just
mean, yeah.
happens
Look what
every
happened with
time.
yeah. Um, I don't know. It's a really tough matchup because I love Kyle Borrello, but I mean, Imavov just knocked out Izzy,
is he? Yeah.
so it's like.
Yeah. I
I'm
mean, who
gonna
doesn't knock out Izzy right nowadays?
truly, yeah. I'm gonna stick to with my dog. I'm gonna say Kyle Baralho, but I'm not confident in it at all. I'm not confident in it at all. I think
Yeah, and
it's just
we'll
it's a
get more.
decision.
Yeah,
Hmm.
I think it's a close split decision,
Yeah,
maybe unanimous, but I genuinely think it'll be a split. Um, but yeah, that's it, guys. That's all we have for this week's episode of Decision Time. A bit of a long episode here. There was lots to talk about. It's International Fight Week. Don't get mad at us that we wanted to yap about every single card on International Fight Week.
a little bit of
If
arguments, little
you're mad,
tillies.
yeah, and my lock is guaranteed. Ben's and Samir's is
Yeah,
garbage. But
we'll see.
anyways, um, thank you always for tuning in. Shout out Braden. I know he's I think our one viewer on our most recent
That's our
episode.
number
So
one
shout
fan
out.
right there.
That is our number one fan. Shout out. Thank you again just for watching from wherever you are in the world. We very much appreciate you listening to us yap about guys scrapping in the cage. Um, and shout out Hunter Lee for reposting our video on his story and liking it. Much appreciated. We'd love to have you on the podcast sometime. I'm sure you didn't watch our 2 hour episode and you're not probably seeing this, but we'd love to have you on sometime, and we'd love to have any fighters on to talk to them. But yeah, thank you so much for watching today, guys. Any closing words from my boys here Ben or Samir, any closing final thoughts? Final
You
goodbyes?
go first.
I just want to say to all our fans, blessings and riches. We love you all, and let's go to Bronx. Let's go to Bronx.
My closing words. Fuck John Jones. Fuck you, John Jones. You're
Fuck John
fucking.
Jones.
Fuck you,
Fuck
Fuck.
you,
John.
John
Fuck
Jones.
you.
Wasted a whole fucking 8 months.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's absolutely crazy. Actually, not just fuck John Jones. Fuck you, Dana White,
Fuck
for
Dana
thinking you could
White.
change his mind.
Mm-hmm.
Dana White, you need to stop
What the hell
being
is
on this
that?
behavior.
I was hoping it would actually show. It's a duck. It's a
Oh,
duck.
okay, yeah, yeah.
Fuck John Jones. Fuck
Fuck
you. And
John
fuck you.
Jones.
Fuck Dana White.
I love
Like,
you,
what are you doing?
Tom. I love you, Tom.
But again, thank you so much for Ben for being here and showing up and staying up till 10 o'clock and missing part of the Team Canada soccer match. Shout out Samir for taking the time out of his day, getting off work and going to the beach and all that, and taking the time to talk to us. Always a pleasure, guys, and always a great pleasure.
We'll see y'all next week.
We'll see you next week. Peace out, motherfuckers.
Peace.
Peace, guys.